Okay, so this question comes from our friend Sasha, one of the members at the gym, and she said that she's experiencing just mildly unpleasant side effects to consuming a lot of protein shakes, including nausea, headaches, and just a general uneasiness within her body. And her dilemma is she wants to eat enough protein, but for one, eating, a gram of protein per pound of body weight of chicken or any kind of meat, for one, is kind of like, it gets old. You get sick of eating so much meat and eggs and that kind of stuff. It's hard to get it in, and it's kind of expensive. So what is she to do? I first want to say I've experienced this a lot, and I've done some pretty in-depth self-experimentation to this exact issue. I, for one, have experienced the exact same things, and do experience I could tell when I drink protein shakes, really any kind, that I just don't feel that good. I get like almost slightly disoriented, a little bit agitated, edgy. I don't feel good, almost like cloudy in my brain. It's just not that good for you, man. And protein shakes, I've always explained, are not a health supplement. They're not really healthy. They're kind of a necessary evil to help you get your protein needs met. And this is something that does happen to people once they go from eating a very Western type unhealthy diet to a more purified diet that includes just real food, healthy fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, oils, meats, veggies, etc. When you do this, your body starts to, you open up, you become more sensitive to the messages that your body will give you as it confronts and comes into contact with various elements. It could be external, like air, wind, but I'm talking here with your nutrition. In a nutshell, say you in the past could eat a box or a bowl of cereal and feel pretty good. That was your normal routine. Every day you ate cereal in the morning and you're fine. Okay, fast forward 90 days after eating a very healthy diet that has more of a rhyme and a reason to it, like the ones we give, and your body, again, it becomes more sensitive. So that same bowl of cereal, all of a sudden, nothing's changed with the cereal, same stuff, and all of a sudden you don't feel good. You feel like bloated, or there's a lot of different side effects you can have when your body is reacting to a certain food. And so it's what do you do? I'll tell you a little story what I did. I literally just started checking off and eliminating all the different foods that caused me to feel unpleasant. And it would always change. Again, the more sensitive you become, the more non-perfect foods start to stand out in your body. And I literally checked off so many foods. I ended up eating a pure, 100% uncooked, nothing cooked, a raw, vegan diet. Nothing cooked, no animal products whatsoever, nothing that's not organic. I literally my morning shakes consisted of like 10 different superfoods, fruits, vegetables, all raw, all pure, like raw, unprocessed, coconut oil, everything. And even in that state of unsustainable, pure of a diet I was eating, I still would continue to have things pop up that would cause those exact same experiences and unpleasant sensations. So the message I learned from that was that's hard, maybe impossible to get rid of completely. And I've learned to just make the best of it. So, and then this also led me to the conclusion that I also learned that your body will react to certain foods at times. And then there's other times, say a year later, where your body's in a whole different place and it's a different food that used to be good for you. Now all of a sudden it's causing you unpleasant side effects and so on. So I wish I had a good answer for that. My conclusion that I came up with is just to kind of be more in the moment. I've learned, and I tried for years to find, like, what does my body like? What can I do on a regular basis that will work for myself? It's a real simple concern that most of us have. But I've learned that, I don't know why, but perhaps because the body is aging and you're experiencing new things and you're moving through life, and you're not just stagnant, that ideal diet is always changing. There are times when I'm very attracted to like red meat and I want to eat a lot of red meat. And there's times again when I was attracted to a vegetarian diet. I did like a sort of raw vegan diet for almost a year. And then all of a sudden it became like very clear to me that this is not the way to go. So I started eating more meat, and again, it's gone back and forth dozens of times throughout my diet journey. So what I would do, if there's something that's again kind of noticeably unpleasant for you, for example, a protein shake that's causing you to not feel good, I would just recommend trying a new powder, or again, the other alternative is just to get your protein from other sources. Maybe you're eating a lot of chicken, then you could try eating some red meat and some egg whites, some cottage cheese, and getting your protein that way. You could cycle through different brands of protein powder. A lot of I know at least Whole Foods, and I imagine you can get this at like the Vitamin Shop or another supplement store. But go in and just get samples, try different types of protein. And see which does that the least. I would never expect to eat have a scoop of protein powder and feel like, this is really good, as if you had like, say, a few minutes ago I had this like fruit smoothie with an orange, ginger, spinach. It's like off the wall healthy, it's a super shake, man. And I felt great, but I know not to expect to have that same feeling of like clarity and like upliftment from like a steak or a protein shake or even like chicken. Lastly, I'll touch upon, I did another self-study with something called the blood type diet, and that kind of classifies all foods as being bad for you, meaning that particular food does not resonate with your own biochemistry. It bothers you, there's adverse reactions, it kind of slows stuff down, you want to avoid it. There's neutral, where it doesn't make you feel great, but it doesn't have any of those negative side effects. And then there's positive, or I forgot the way they labeled it, but anyway, foods that are good for you, where you eat it and you're just like, man, I feel wonderful, I feel great. Ideally, you make up as most of your foods that do that make you feel good. They're almost like a medicine for you. And you want to avoid the foods as much as possible that, again, that don't resonate with your body and they don't feel good. And of course, as much neutral foods as you want as well. But your predicament I find myself in as well, Sasha. It's a pain in the ass, I must say. I don't like how I feel from protein shakes to this day. I really don't. But I eat somewhere between 250 and 300 grams of protein a day. So for me, it is a necessity. I realistically cannot eat that much meat. I could probably force it for a week or so, but it would come down to me just getting completely sick of it, and I wouldn't be able to stomach anymore, so I still do it. Some tips how to buffer that as well is to add a veggie supplement. Let me find one real quick. I have one here. This is a kind of a more expensive brand. You wouldn't have to get this, but something to kind of balance it out so it's not just pure protein. So what I put in my shakes that tends to help, it's called Perfect Food Raw. You can actually get the chocolate flavor, which is delicious. It's a superfood. It's just a concoction of all sorts of different green vegetables and different vegetables all ground up into this powder. And you just put a little scoop in with your protein powder. And again, that gives it some nutrition, some actual healthy stuff to kind of go with it, with offset, so it offsets those feelings for me anyway. I also add a tablespoon of flaxseed oil. That's a healthy source of fats. But again, that's giving you more calories, more stuff to go with it. So yeah, in a nutshell, I find that when I eat those protein foods by themselves, it really feels sucky. I just really don't like it. But when I add this stuff in, or say even have this and like a half an apple or something, making it more of a meal, that can help as well. But yeah, the fact is, your body doesn't particularly like the protein supplements. But I would suggest that if you're unable to get your protein in each day, your body will like that even less. It'll like less, because then it's like, what do you do if you can't replace it with meat and stuff? Then it's what there's fat and there's carbs. That's really the only other two alternatives, and your body is not going to want more of that stuff either, even if you don't have those feelings per se. So I know I kind of jumped around a little bit. Again, it's a question that I've yet to answer. I don't think anyone's answered it, because everyone, if you look around the internet, everyone's got their opinion on what's best for the body. But again, in my experience, having tried almost anything you could throw at me, I mean, I'm talking paleo diet, raw vegan diet, I've tried everything. I enjoy trying out different stuff, and I found pros and cons to everything. Again, the most important thing I can tell you is that just become aware of your body and what it wants that day, that moment, that week, because it will change. You're a young girl, you're 25, I think you said. 2 years from now, your body is going to want different stuff. And it's important to not, you did the right thing because you asked. It's important to not get locked in to some kind of like nutrition dogma that you just blindly follow and trudge through for the rest of your life because it once had its place. It once worked for you. Again, we're always changing. Go with the flow. Stay in the moment, and maybe back off the protein shakes for a week and replace it with, again, any protein-rich foods, eggs, chicken, red meat, fish, that kind of thing. Chicken tends to be on the cheaper side. Ground beef, you can get grass-fed ground beef at Whole Foods. That's like $5 a pound. That's pretty cheap. Someone like you probably get away with, again, like a 6-ounce portion a day, and that's like, that's like maybe a couple bucks a day or something from that. So it might be cost-effective, similar to what you were paying for each protein serving from a protein powder. But I will say this, and this is very important. This is, if I was to choose one thing to take away, it's that when your body becomes more sensitive and the signals that your body sends as a result of the food you're consuming and the things you're experiencing becomes more clear, that is a very wonderful thing that few people know and experience. Most people eat like absolute dog shit every single day of their life. They eat fast food and they're used to it. Their bodies don't send those signals to say, hey, what the fuck, this is not working for you. They don't. Because they become so desensitized to this crap they put in their body, they don't even know. They don't have a clue. They've severed the communication lines between their body and their brain, and look at the results. They're horrible. That's how people become completely obese and overweight and miserable, and then they don't know why. Oh, I eat cereal every day, I eat ice cream at night, it doesn't seem to bother me. Well, now we got Sasha here drinking protein shakes, and that seeming impure to her renewed body. So that's a good thing, girl. Keep it up. Again, the particular thing you're dealing with now with the protein shakes, that's a challenging one because you need a lot of protein. That's just a fact. You do need a lot of protein if you want to embody that fit, healthy, athletic, like really just good physique that I know you want. So I would just say get creative and just as your body gets sick of one thing, replace with something else, and then you can expect your body will eventually get sick of that, and then you can go back. And again, just go with the flow. I wish I had a more clear answer for you. Normally I do, but this is just something I don't know, and it's not something I suspect I'm going to find by looking it up. I don't think anyone knows. It's just one of the wonders of the world, and if you find something that dials in and answers this question more clearly than I'm able to, then I'd be very anxious to know, and I'd be happy to share with everybody else as well. But I appreciate your question. I hope my spiel helps you a little bit. And again, I want you to know that it's a very good thing that what you're experiencing. So with that, I will close. Anybody have any other questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. If I feel inspired to make a video about it, if I think it might apply to other people, I'll be happy to share it and give you a good answer like I gave Sasha here. All right, peace.